Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Language Lessons. And this is written and starring Mark Duplass, and written, starring, and directed by Natalie Morales. And more or less, this is just a two-person show focusing on a middle-aged gay man who goes through some personal tragedy, but then latches on to the Spanish lessons that his husband had bought him that he's being taught by Natalie Morales. And it's all shot over like FaceTime. Obviously this was shot during the pandemic, but you have Mark Duplass's character who's often like the Bay Area and Natalie Morales in Costa Rica. So it makes sense that they're talking over this FaceTime. It feels natural. It makes sense within the narrative. And it doesn't have doesn't have to be like about COVID, but it utilizes this way of filmmaking to the right extent because it makes sense within the story that it's telling. And I think Natalie Morales does a fantastic job of directing this film and knowing when these conversations should cut off, when to cut back and forth between the characters, when to show just enough to keep the audience engaged to the story that's going on here. Because, Mark Duplass's character is going through a lot. And Natalie Morales is trying to be understanding. And, she's overwhelmed by the fact that, this is a lot more than she signed up for. But it's just a matter of watching this hour and a half of this friendship developing. And it is a love story, but it's a platonic love story. They're not interested in, falling in love with each other. But they're there making this connection, and it feels so organic and genuine. And Mark Duplass is so great about creating stories that feel organic and genuine, and he has such an interesting presence. Because, obviously I've seen him in Creep and Creep 2, and watching him on The Morning Show, and a lot of the other things he's done and the things that he's created. There's just a matter of simplicity in storytelling and filmmaking to create such an impactful story. And the story between these two, there's tension, there's awkwardness, there's both of them showing some not the best ways of processing this current relationship, this budding relationship that they have with each other. And I have to say, I was hooked on every word. I was sitting on the edge of my seat being how's this all going to play out? Are they going to be able to stay connected in this way? Is it going to be too complicated? Because, Natalie Morales' character is dealing with, it's unprofessional. But is it okay for her to help, continue to build this friendship? Is Mark Duplass leaning on her too much? Is he pushing too much? Is he looking in too much? And the assumptions that we make, the choices that we make that might not be the most thought out or the best and most realistic choices in a moment on how we should deal with certain things. And we leave ourselves open to hurt and to love and emotion. And this film is able to capture all of those things and in such a convincing and genuine way. I felt so engrossed into this story, engrossed into their friendship, engrossed into this story and this narrative that's going throughout this film and the flow of it and the push, the pull, the pushing away, the trying to pull in and how it was all going to play out. And sitting there at the end, I felt so satisfied with how the story came together so organically and emotionally. And I was really moved by this film. I was really impressed. Mark Duplass and Natalie Morales deserve a lot of attention for this film. This was something special. And I really hope that you all check this out. I got to rent this on Amazon, so this is out on VOD. So go check out Language Lessons. It's an emotional and meaningful and heartfelt ride. And, there's some twists and turns along the way. It could play out a little staged, but, you're so connected to these two actors, these two writers, this director, pulling this all together, that you just get lost in it and lost in the moment. So check this one out. But those are my thoughts on language lessons. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.